WMOT Roots Radio, kind of an impromptu words and music here at the studio at Riverside Revival. Sarah and Austin, Chatham Rabbits. So good to see you guys.
Thank you for having us, Jessie.
Thanks for coming down with your New York plates, or is that a rental?
It's a rental. It's a rental.
We are definitely not from New York.
We're North Carolinians, but we drove a rental car into Nashville because we had to be here a little bit early for this show and doing a show at Carter Vintage. And our band is meeting us in just a little bit. They're taking the bus across the mountain to Nashville.
Oh, cool. It's, a time change, so
oh yeah,
It's in your favor.
It's in our favor this go around. When we go back, we are always like, oh no, it happened the opposite way, but it's all good.
It's hard to get your head wrapped around all that. Well, we have to talk about the name because Chatham Rabbits is such an interesting construct.
It is. We get a lot of comments about it. People just wondering why in the heck we decided to call ourselves that. And it's not because we want 18 kids or however many rabbits have. But
people have asked us that before, unfortunately.
Many times. But we actually got our name from where we used to live when we got married and when we started the band. We lived on the banks of the Hall River in the Piedmont of North Carolina. And the Hall River is home to, I think, over 15 cotton mills. And these cotton mills were like, the life's blood of these communities all throughout the turn of the 20th century. And we were living in a mill house there and trying to come up with a name for the band. And we learned from our neighbors that there used to be a string band sponsored by the cotton mill. They're called the Chatham Rabbits String Band. And they were called the Chatham Rabbits String Band because Chatham County, North Carolina used to be the meat rabbit capital of the USA.
Yeah. And we found out that the patriarch of the house that we owned, and we were the first people to live there since this original family, he was the guitar player for the Chatham Rabbits String Band. So
the name
chose us.
Exactly. And we love history. We love family stories. We love the South. We love connection. And so it just made sense.
I mean, I wondered when I first saw it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's the backstory?
Like, what is this? Anyway, would you play a song for us?
Yeah, we'd love to. We're going to play a tune off of our new record. This is a song called Collateral Damage, and I wrote it about wanting to be a mom at some point in my life, but also wanting to be a touring musician, and those things are in conflict with one another. And I just wrote it about that. I want my freedom and I want a baby. It's all been coming to me lately. The time I have is fading. I know I've been acting shady. I want it all and I want it fast. I want my youth and luck to last. My problem to solve, my paradox to manage. I'll make you collateral damage. Can't just forget it and bury. I wanna wrap it in my arms to carry through the years, brief and vast, and get away with it like a beach house nap. A sandy house is full of light. I'll bed down in a corner full of light and fall asleep. My body's sunning, my name's on the TV humming. The closest thing to snow this year. Our petals that quickly disappear. I'll miss the cold, but I'm still sad. The flowers I'll make you collateral damage.
So cool.
Thank you.
Collateral Damage. Chatham Rabbits in the studio with us here at WMOT Roots Radio. So how long have you been together? How long have you been doing this?
We've been together for like almost 11 years, which is bananas. And we've been doing Chatham Rabbits as our full-time gig. This May is our 7-year anniversary.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, always interesting to me to see the trajectory,
Sure.
you know, of when you're doing something and there's a local and then a regional piece to it. So your name actually was out there before we started playing your music.
Oh,
So, that's good.
We already
That's a
knew
good thing.
about you before this album dropped.
That's
So,
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
We love to hear that.
But it is interesting to just like see how like the reach of different bands and how it works. And like, it's just so, we've learned so much since being in this world and taking it on. It's, this is record number 4 that we're releasing. And like each time that goes by, we just keep learning more and more.
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really cool that you come from an area of the country that's so rich.
It really
musically.
is.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's like the Triangle in North Carolina, which is like Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, has its own little music scene that is really, I mean, we keep saying it's a little music scene, but really if you think about it, there's a lot of great bands that come
It's a
from
big
there.
music scene now.
A lot of singer-songwriter, like folk Americana.
A lot of alt country too, but like a lot of electronic, a lot of really great hip hop and rap and blues.
Yeah.
Like it is awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun to be a part of.
It's totally cool. And of course, you know, going back even further to the Piedmont tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when did you become aware of that?
I would say, well, when I was growing up, my grandmother, who I'm very close with, she was really one of the people, she and my mom were like taking my brothers and I to tons of community concerts and performing art center type things. And so I got to see Joe Thompson, the fiddle player who inspired the Carolina Chocolate Drops. I got to see him like at little community recreation centers and like senior centers playing his music. And I think it started for me, when I was like 5, 6, 7. And Austin got to see Tony Rice and Doc Watson when he was a kid. And so it was just nice that we had like opportunities in the community where you could buy a cheap ticket or for free and go see these absolute legends.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, you both had other careers before
Yes.
Yeah.
setting sail.
Yes. Setting sail. There we go.
I was actually a financial planner wearing a suit and tie every day, and I am very far from that these days. But it is nice to have some of that skill coming into playing music for a living because, you know, it's really hard. And it's nice we've been able to be as smart as we can with the resources we have. And I also try to keep that tool in my tool belt for helping other musicians. You know, I feel like I've, you know, for free, just for fun, like I've tried to share as much knowledge as I can with people in the music industry. So,
and I used to be a Montessori teacher, and I still get to practice teaching because
I'm just your only student.
Well,
now.
I was gonna say you're my only student, but also like performing on stage is teaching, and teaching for all my teachers out there, like that is performing. You have to make this your subject interesting and make your students engage. So the two are pretty closely linked in my mind.
See, I always talk about things that you learn along the way that you have no idea why you're learning them, but that they will come in handy later.
100%. You're like, okay, 3 years later, that's why that happened.
Definitely.
I've got this.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Would you play another song for us and tell us what?
Yeah,
and where
absolutely.
it came from and all the good stuff?
Sarah's gonna retune real quick. This is a song called Facing 29. It's a song that I wrote it's been like over 2 years ago now, and it's the first song on this new record that's coming out on the 14th. And the whole record's called Be Real With Me, and it's very much about just growing older and looking yourself in the mirror and just, being real with yourself and with your partner and all that. And this being the title track, I think makes a lot of sense. One, because it was the first one that we wrote when we were starting out the process of writing this record. But it also just kind of sets the tone for the record in a really nice, positive way. And so, yeah, this is Facing 29.
Let me just check my tuning with you really quick.
Last time I flew out to Utah with my buddies to ski. 7 years gone by, facing 29. The last year of our youth. Oh, how we have grown, but we're not alone. Grabbing 30 by the strap of his boots. And we are a force like the winds on the Oklahoma plains. Together we can face most any old thing. We stand tall like a New York City skyline, and try to knock us down to a proper size. 7 years gone by, facing 29. Last year of our youth. Oh, how we have grown, but we're not alone. Grabbing 30 by the strap of his boots. And you are the reason I go on living this way. Driving town to town, acting like I got something left to say. Will you still be there when I'm in a rocking chair? The last year of my life. Will I hear my name at the pearly gates? Will we be there side by side? 7 years gone by, facing 29. The last year of our youth. Oh, how we have grown, but we're not alone. Grabbing 30 by the strap of his boots.
Chatham Rabbits, our guest in the studio here at Riverside Revival for WMOT. So beautiful. How
Thank
hard is
you.
it writing songs?
Oh man, sometimes it's so easy. They just come out of the sky, and other times we work on
never
them for
me.
years.
Austin has this ability to like sit down and write something that's actually good the first time around. My songs always take ages and years and lots of editing. I'm so jealous that he thinks that.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen often. I wish we had the secret formula, but really,
No. It's just as repeatedly trying, repeatedly getting the pen and paper out, repeatedly like writing a lot of stuff that you don't like and don't use. And then you find something that you do like and you can just like riff on that from there. But yeah.
I guess, part of the exercise is just opening up to the universe for divine intervention.
Yeah, seriously. Just like being open to it. I think the biggest thing for me is, and I'm not like a crazy veteran songwriter or anything, but I think the biggest thing is just like being aware and like asking questions and like just making notes and just being cognizant of the world around you, because you could write, we could write, Jessie, me and you together today, we could write a whole record based on like anything we find in this room. There's inspiration everywhere, but you just have to be available to it, I think.
Yeah. Now, is it weird for you to come into such a songwriter town? Perform?
It is kind
Yes.
of weird, honestly. Yeah, it's a little intimidating, but we're really excited to perform tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, we're playing at the Analog at the Hoeppner Hotel tonight. The show starts at 7. Joel Timmons is opening the show, and it'll be the first show on our album release tour, which is so exciting. And yeah, I think
we haven't played that much in Nashville.
No,
it's really cool to be here and performing.
This
here.
is our first time ever here with our backing band. First time selling hard tickets. We've played like Americana Fest before, but this is a whole other thing. And actually, our first gig in Nashville was 7 years ago. We played at Puckett's in Leapers
I
Fork.
thought you were going to say when we used to busk on the streets.
Oh, yeah. Technically, our first gig
that-
was busking on Broadway.
Our first dollar we ever made playing music in Nashville was on the streets.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a lovely thing.
It is.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the limited series PBS on the road with you guys.
Sure.
How did that happen?
Well, when we started Chatham Rabbits, I was like, Austin and I both were like beating down doors, calling, cold calls to just get attention brought to what we were doing and to try to make ends meet. And I reached out to PBS in North Carolina and just kind of pitched our story. And a producer there saw it and responded. And back in 2018, they did an 8-minute segment on us. It was very brief, but really great. And then when COVID hit, I guess we weren't touring as much in a traditional sense, and we had more time. And they reached out to us actually.
Yeah, they
that time
figured out what we were doing during COVID, which is what we called the stay-at-home tour. We pulled a trailer behind our touring van and powered a sound system that we had on the trailer, and we kind of went to people's neighborhoods and performed while they sat on their front porches. We did 194 neighborhood shows in 2020 and 2021.
Yeah, it was insane.
And so PBS really latched on to kind of that. And it was really
and then
fun.
they signed us to do the whole limited series. So it 2020 ended up being
I think our busiest
year. Yeah.
Which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're the only ones.
Yeah,
right, I know.
But how brilliant that is.
Yeah.
And what a brilliant way to bring your music to people and have them be into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they needed it at
Play
the time.
for us,
And just now we still see the effects, because so many times we would take submissions from the neighborhood, and a lot of times it would be one person in that neighborhood that was a Chatham Rabbits fan. But then we go and most of the neighbors don't even know that this is happening. They're like, who are these Jehovah's Witnesses with their freaking banjos? You know?
We were. We
and
just,
we
showed
show up and play, and then they become fans. And so on our album release tour, we're going to probably see people at the merch table that come up and say, hey, I'd never heard of you until that,
You just showed up in our neighborhood, yeah.
So it paid off
cool.
for sure.
It was awesome watching people see their neighbors in person for the first time, in months. And it was not just about the music. It was about people needing community at that time. So it was really special.
Mm-hmm.
It's so great. And what music does best. I always say there's no rules. There's no do this, and this, and you will be successful. And breaking the rules and thinking outside the box, actually, I think is a better conduit to success.
I think so too, Jessie. Austin and I talk about this all the time, that because we didn't come from the music industry and didn't really know exactly what we were getting into when we started Chatham Rabbits, but there is just no rule book for any of this.
Yeah, and it's a blessing and a curse. It allows you to be really, really creative. It also makes things knowing what to charge for a show hard, or knowing kind of how to plan a tour properly. It's totally a blessing and a curse. I think ultimately we're really thankful to not live inside of such a box like we were before. And we're figuring it out just like everybody else right now.
It's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And all that stuff is out there. It'll come to you. You know?
I think so.
I mean, you need
it
an
already
answer
is.
for this, or you need to know how to route it, you know.
Yep.
Tincture of time heals.
Tincture of Time. That's our album title, Jessie.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great.
That was actually, my mom used to say
Nice.
that, and I always loved it. You know, it was like,
I love that.
Isn't that great?
Tincture of Time.
So perfect.
Oh my gosh.
I'll look for credit.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So this is the first night of the tour. Where do you go after this?
We are in Boone, Asheville, and Atlanta later this week. And then we've got our big hometown shows at the Hall River Ballroom in Saxapahaw, 2 nights there next week. And we're going all the way up to New Hampshire, Massachusetts, New York, D.C., and then, hitting Knoxville as well, Charleston.
South Carolina,
Yeah, all over the place.
Way cool.
Yeah,
Love
but
it.
folks can find us online. It's just chathamrabbits.com or chatham_rabbits on Instagram, and it has all the info there.
Excellent. One more song?
Yeah,
You
one
got
more
it.
song.
Well, this is a very Nashville-y kind of vibe to it, at least in the lyrics. This is a song that's also on the new record, and it's about wanting to give more to a friendship, but not being able to, and just kind of like settling for handing someone some gas money. Let's forget what happened, not the way we fell. You remind me, honey, I'm a deep, deep well, and I got things nobody knows about me. Whatever it was, it woke me up and pulled me out of the same old rut. But I haven't felt so good and bad in years. And all that I can give you is gas money for the long road home. It's all I have to share, and all I have to loan is just gas money. Well, I took it too far. I thought I'd burst that hatchet. We buried it, split me first, right down the middle, brought me to my knees. And I regret it all as a handsome lie. It feels good to know I lit you up inside, but I'm tired of leaving you in tears. And all that I can give you is gas money for the long road home. It's all I have to share, and all I have to loan is just gas money. Don't be a stranger, but darling, don't you see? A stone is never gonna bleed, and on the long ride home, you'll think of me and your gas money for the long road home. It's all I have to share, and all I have to loan is just gas money for the long road home. It's all I have to share, and all I have to loan is just gas money. Gas money.
Gas Money. Chatham Rabbits in the studio with us at WMOT Roots Radio for an impromptu words and music on a Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, Jessie. And if anyone's hearing this live and wants to join us tonight at Analog at the Hoeppner Hotel, it's today, February 12th. Is that right? It's the 12th? I think so. Our show starts at 7, and Joel Timmons is going to be opening the show, but we hope to see all y'all out there somewhere on the road.
It's a really pretty room.
That's what I've heard. We're
We're
never
so
been,
stoked.
but everybody that we've mentioned it to is like, oh, it's pretty.
Yeah.
And I Pretty goes a long way. Vibes are everything.
It sets the stage for really a magical thing where you're really focused on the music.
Cool.
So, yeah, we
Great.
like that in this town.
We do.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you for having us.
Totally. Come back, see us again.
We will.
Absolutely. Sarah, Austin, Chatham Rabbits for WMOT Roots Radio.